All in Sports Network. We love sports.
Man, this is fun. This is going to be a fun one. I'm excited for this episode. Welcome back to All In Mizzou, where we talk about Mizzou every day. And we're here with Rogue Media. Thanks to Rogue Media again. For the listeners, it's Friday. For me and my guest, it's Thursday. But happy Friday to everybody listening. I've got a guest I just could not be any more excited about. Look at him smiling. My buddy Will Faris I went to high school with Will. I've known him forever, and Will kicked at Vanderbilt for 4 years, and now he's at down in San Antonio kicking at Incarnate Word. Will, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on here.
Thanks for having me, Dave. It's been a long time coming.
I've been trying to get you to, I don't know, write a story about you or get you on a show for a while. It seems like it would have been a perfect fit while you're at Vandy, but now you're at Incarnate Word. Hey, I got to brag on Will for a second before we get into Vanderbilt. So Will kicked last Saturday against East Texas A&M and made a 57-yarder to tie the game with 2 minutes left. Also 6 for 6 on extra points. This kid's got a real leg. Will, congrats on your Incarnate Word school record kick on Saturday.
Thank you, Davis. Thank you.
How was that? How did that go for you? How did that feel?
It felt pretty good. I mean, I guess you know my story pretty well. 4 or 5 months ago, I was done playing football.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would have been a little crazy if you told me, 4 months from that point, graduating college, that I would be still playing football for a school that I'd never heard of, and then B, breaking a record in kind of a crucial situation. But it was good. It felt good. It felt good to help contribute to the team, and it sucks the way it turned out, but I guess it'll be a cool little fun fact in like 30 years.
Yeah. Tell all your little children about it.
Yeah.
Were you nervous up there? Did you get nervous?
There's like always a little, performance anxiety here and there, but I was confident that I could go out and make it. And after the coach asked me if I could make it, and I said yes, I just kind of rolled with it, and just kind of got to do it.
Is that your career long?
I've hit longer in practice before, like at Vandy for sure, maybe in high school, but definitely in a game setting. I think the longest I kicked in high school was 46, I believe. So
it was crushed her.
Yeah, by a long shot.
So how does that? I'm interested in this. How does it work? The coach came up to you and said, "Can you make this?" That's what he said.
So we were probably on the 26-yard line, so like around like 44, 45. It was longer third down, and our quarterback got sacked around the 39-yard line, and the clock dwindled down to the 2-minute warning. And then I was prepping as I was going out to kick. Head coach came up to me and he was like, "Can you make it?" And just without a hesitation, I said yes. Allegedly, in my own mind, not knowing if I could. I'm an old man now. I don't know if I have that leg strength anymore. But he kept asking me, and I said yes, and I was still confident in my ability, and then tried it out there and just hit a good ball. And
he drilled it.
Fortunately, went in.
Drilled it, yeah. I guess you can't say no. I can't make that. You can't say that in that situation.
Yeah,
I guess.
you have to be confident. I mean, unless it's like a 70-yarder, you could be realistic. But 57, especially, you gotta be confident in your own abilities.
Did it feel good off the foot? It felt pretty good.
Off the foot, yeah, it did feel pretty good. I would say it wasn't my most pristine ball flight, but sometimes things work out in your favor, and I believe, coupled with, the way I struck the ball and just the rotation it had, it ended up working out perfectly.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I'm glad you got a big moment there. That's pretty exciting. All right, we got a decently big matchup here in the SEC this weekend. Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Nashville, a top 15 matchup. First of all, I want to say this. 5 years ago, or whatever it is now, it makes me feel very old to say that, but 5 years ago, when you were going to Vanderbilt and I was going to Missouri at first, If you had told us both that in 5 years we'd be playing a top 15 matchup with College game day in attendance, I would have called you crazy. I wouldn't have believed that for a second. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I would agree with you on that front. I mean, especially coming off when we were in high school, Missouri, I believe, was pretty bad at that point, and
Yep.
Vanderbilt had just come off our 0-10 COVID season, and I was confident in Coach Lee from the start. But obviously,
Yeah.
when you're building a new program, things don't skyrocket immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad both of our programs now are at the point where saying it nowadays, it doesn't sound too far-fetched.
Yeah. Yeah. These are two of the better programs right now. Or at least on the best upward trajectory, some of the best programs moving upwards in the country. I mean, they're on the rise, both of them. And I remember the first game I watched between these two teams was in 2020 when I kind of knew I was probably going to end up at Missouri. It was the Sarah Fuller game where Missouri really took it to Vanderbilt. And was that the last year of the Derek Mason tenure? Is that right?
Yeah, that was the last little stretch of his tenure before
Yeah.
Clark came in that spring.
Yeah. So Clark Lee, Vanderbilt's head coach, comes from Notre Dame, and he comes in 21, I guess. His first year is 21. Drinkwitz's first year was in 2020. So both of our programs are, made coaching hires that have worked pretty well for both. Tell us a little about Clark Lee. I want to learn more about him. How is he as a coach? What are your thoughts about him? And I guess you already said you're not really surprised that he's got it turned around, but did it always seem like he was going to get it figured out in Vanderbilt?
In my mind, yes. I mean, first off, he's a great guy. Coach Lee means a lot to me, and although I didn't have, I wasn't chatting him up for 15 minutes every day, he always made all his players feel welcomed. He was very bought into the program. His biggest thing was he would say in team meetings, if you slash open my arm, my blood will bleed out black and gold. And that just goes to show the pride and the respect that he has for the program, especially the one that he was a part of a program that was not very good when he played. I believe it was the years 2002 to 2004 under Coach Bobby Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
But you can just tell, I mean, he's a Nashville native. His high school is 5 minutes down the road from Vandy. He went to Vandy for a few years, graduated from there twice. And then, he's back in his hometown trying to put his team, at a national championship, which I fully believe he can. He himself is an extremely hard worker. He's very humble in his process. He's very well spoken, which not many people know, but his team meetings used to run for 90 minutes sometimes at 6:30 on a Tuesday practice. But he's very bought into everything we're doing in the program. He gets the right people in his program. Most of the people in kind of his inner circle, I would say, have been with him since the start. I mean, one name comes to mind, Barton Simmons, former 247. He himself has developed our roster into, I believe, one of the best rosters in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And then his staff members, whether that be Ben Cothran, Molly, Jake Jola, all the people that kind of do the behind the scenes have really helped shape this program into what it is so that the coaches and players can really do everything they can to perform on the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For the first time, I mean, you guys always it was never a great quarterback situation, but now, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but now you have one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and he comes from New Mexico State, right? New Mexico State.
Yes.
And it was is Jerry Kill still on staff at Vanderbilt?
Yes, Jerry Kill. He's essentially Coach Lee's basically second-hand coach.
Okay.
I believe his official title is chief consultant, the head coach, with all the rule changes about you have to have 10 coaches. All these coaches have crazy titles now, but he's one of the primary coaches on our team. Yes.
Yeah, and he came from New Mexico State too, and kind of brought Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt's quarterback, who's having a really good year and really should be involved in the Heisman conversation, I think, if this continues. Man, how important has Pavia been? I feel like since he's been there, since he got to Vanderbilt, it's kind of been like a shot in the arm for the program. Just like there's a new, just like swagger and confidence about the team because he carries himself like he's the baddest dude out there. So, what are your thoughts on Pavia? What was he like? First of all, as a teammate, I guess you know what he was like as a teammate, but also what has he just done for the program?
I mean, with the word swagger and confidence, you say is probably the best two things to describe him as. The moment he stepped in the building in 24, I mean, it was obvious that he was the guy. He was the guy who was going to come in and, yes, you could say you can throw for 30 touchdowns and run for 1,000 yards in a season, but the guys who actually say that and do that like him, I mean, it's nothing short but incredible. And obviously all the accolades and stuff, he's extremely humble. I mean, there were times he was, the first guy in the facility often and always alleged. I mean, obviously I was a kicker, so I only know so much, but some of the other quarterbacks I'm friends with said that, he's always watching film with Tim Beck, the new offensive coordinator that came along with New Mexico State. And, he's always helping out any way he can. And also as a guy too, I mean, he's one of those guys that he's just such a natural leader. There were guys, I mean, you don't have to play to get his respect. I mean, he was always dapping guys up in the locker room. He was always creating conversation with the different people throughout the building. He isn't just a movie star, arrogant quarterback. He's really a true humble leader that is willing to, support everybody on the team, not only to get the job done, because winning is the most important thing, but also just in a way that, brings up the team culture, which is, one of the most crucial aspects, I believe, which is why, teams like Vandy, Missouri, who are historically not recruiting like Georgia and Alabama, but just the culture that they bring and the culture that they grow throughout their fan base and, their team. I really think that he has been a pivotal moment in that, progression. And I think that he kind of embodies it in a way.
There's a pretty funny clip or a picture going around of him. He's getting interviewed by the game day people, I think, and on the practice field, shirtless, a nice dad bod going on. I just like him. I think he's a fun guy, funny guy. He's brought it seems like either he's brought a lot of fans to Vanderbilt or some of the Vandy fans have kind of come out of the woodwork since he's gotten there. But what do you think about, I've been seeing this. Johnny Manziel is almost like a Vandy guy now. Like, is he forgetting that Texas A&M has the third best team in the country? And I feel like he's been at more Vandy games than A&M games.
I mean, I know he was at the Alabama game. And actually, I just saw this morning, Diego had reposted on his story a picture of Johnny and Diego dapping each other up on the sideline of, I believe, the Bama game. I mean,
they're pretty similar styles.
If you watch them play, I mean, it's growing up an A&M fan. I mean, it looks so similar.
Yeah.
Watching the two of them play together. I mean, Johnny was a runner. Diego's a runner. The biggest thing about both of them is when they're out in the field, that their heart is on the line. I mean, they're not ducking. I mean, Diego, you can see there was a play where there was an end around against South Carolina, and Diego's out there lead blocking. Diego's always up there. Seti, runs for, I believe he's averaging like 5 or 6 yards a carry. I think it's 5.7. And Diego's always the first guy behind him, picking him up. Like he, I believe, also embodies kind of that Johnny Manziel grit culture. And I think that, if you see a guy younger than you who's playing like you, I think you got to support that. And then obviously you see, the Money Manziel celebrations that Pavia does. And I think it's really, really cool to see a guy like Johnny support our program.
Yeah, that is fun. And you've got have we figured out who the guest picker is this week for College Game Day?
No, I was actually talking about it with my dad. I have no idea. I mean, Nate Bargatze seems like a good choice.
Yeah.
Did
you guys get Did you guys have a game day last year or no? Is this the first one in a while?
We did not have a game day. We thought we were going to get one for the Texas game.
Okay.
But I think they did Indiana, Oregon, or Indiana, Illinois, or something like that.
Yeah, I think they should do Bargatze. I like him. He's
Bargatze
funny.
would probably be good. I think Dirks Bentley went to Vanderbilt, and he's a pretty big name. Stapleton briefly went to Vanderbilt. I think that could be cool too.
That'd be cool, yeah.
Yeah, any of those people I think really could really.
Well, let's talk about this matchup here. Top 15 matchup in Nashville. What are the I know you have your own team. I mean, you're playing football on Saturdays, so you have your own team to worry about, but I know you're keeping up with Vanderbilt as well as you can. And what's the strength of this team? Like, what is if they go out and they can really, if they go out there and they say they blow out Missouri, what happened? Like, what is the strength of this team that could allow them to win this game?
I mean, well, first of all, I still watch every game. I mean, there's not unless I'm playing.
When there's a conflict in time, do you record it and rewatch it, or what do you do?
When there's a conflict in time, I'll usually watch the game later that night or the next day.
Okay.
But for the most part, I've been able to watch at least most of the games, at least a half, if not. I got to watch all of LSU last week, which was incredible to see. Honestly, I think if Vanderbilt blows up Missouri, it's going to be because of the physicality of this O-line and D-line. I mean, I think I really think that's what's been making. I mean, the physicality of the O-line is what I think won us that Bama game last year. I mean, our defense has been playing amazing. We have 20 team sacks right now, which I don't know what that is relative to other teams in the SEC, but I think that's pretty decent so far. I mean, between guys like Miles Capers, him and I entered the program at the same time. He's one of the only few people left from that original program. Mm-hmm. Miles, Corday, the transfer from Purdue, has been playing great. Glenn Seabrooks, Linus, Zay Wood, like those guys at the D-line, if they stop Hardy, who I know is one of the premier running backs in the SEC, I really think that is going to be kind of the key for us really dominating Missouri. And then same thing on the offensive side. We got a lot of transfers at O-line, but still some old guys. Cade McConnell and Chase Mitchell were on the team last year, and they've really looked great every time I've seen them play. We're averaging 213 rush yards a game, which I think is incredible for a team like Vanderbilt. As long as we just, keep – I think our biggest issue was in the Bama game, we barely ran the ball in the second half. Mm-hmm. And I don't really know – I'm not Coach Beck, and I trust what he's doing, but I know that if we continue to run the ball and, eat up time of possession like we have in years past, I really think that is going to propel us to a really good victory.
Yeah. 20 sacks is good enough for tied for 21st in the country. That's very good. You guys play an offense like I think I saw it's one of the slowest paced offenses in the country just because of, you're running the ball. And I was going to ask you about that Alabama game because I was able to watch a little bit, but to me, it was like you were running well. Cedric Alexander had the big touchdown run, who's your running back, who's a great running back, who, is kind of underrated probably. But what do you think? Well, first, what I wanted to ask is, in regards to Pavia, what was Alabama able to do to bother Pavia?
I still think Pavia played a great game. Especially, the key to that game was just the fact that we had 2 red zone turnovers. Pavia had the unfortunate fumble, I believe, towards the end of the second half or at the end of the first half. And then same thing too with that red zone pick to Eli. Eli looked like he kind of got off his track maybe by, I believe it was a linebacker for a second, and the ball, unfortunately picked off. And that's one of those things, winning the turnover battle is a reason I think we've won most of our games. I believe our turnover ratio is a perfect 4 right now. Mm-hmm. And I think just the red zone turnovers is what got us. Pavia played decently well. I think besides that, But I mean, any quarterback, any coach, any offensive coordinator will tell you that if you turn the ball over twice in the red zone, that's crucial points you're giving up. Because even if the defense stops you and they win 4-3 with you making the field goal, I mean, 6 points makes that game 23-20 before they kick that field goal on 4th and 2, and maybe there's a potential chance to go down and win the game with a touchdown and an extra point.
Yeah. Talked about Stowers. Stowers is an incredible tight end for Vanderbilt. You also have a guy named Cole Spence who's also, getting involved. You play a lot of that kind of 12 personnel with 2 tight ends out there, a lot of like heavy. I mean, you guys just want to run the ball. Like it's just you're lining guys up and you're just going to run the ball. But I do think Pavi's improved a lot as a passer from last year. Is that something you've seen this year?
I think so too. We've definitely, I mean, Pavi is an explosive guy. I mean, I remember one of the biggest explosive plays I remember seeing was first drive, Missouri Vandy 2024. Pavia stepped out of the pocket, had a 65-yard touchdown, Joseph McVay. And Pavi is very capable of plays like that. Like it's not everybody sees, him scrambling on 4th and 2, completing the short passes, or him, running the ball up the gut, putting his shoulder down. But he's also got that touch. I mean, you saw Cole Spence had 5 receptions last game. I believe that's probably the most he's had in his career. In a single game, that is. And then obviously Eli's there. Richie's really a reliable receiver. Seti out of the backfield. I believe he has got 4 receiving touchdowns. And then same thing too. Junior Cheryl is coming back and having a great year. And I think Pavia, having these guys that he can trust, this is year 2 with these guys. Not a lot of offensive skill position turnover from last year besides losing Quincy Skinner. That was pretty big, but then getting Trey Richardson this year, who he's been a heck of a player from I forgot what D2 program he went to, but this is his first kind of shot in the big leagues. I mean, to be quite honest, I just think Pavi's just confident back there and he's got good guys, and as long as we can run the ball for 30-40 yards of drive and then hit Eli for a 15-yard out, hit Cole for a 10-yard curl down the middle, or get Richie a little out pass on the perimeter. I mean, I think Tim Beck has just got this bag of tricks up his sleeves. I don't know offensive enough to understand how he does it, but and then also too, I talked about earlier the physicality of the O-line, the physicality of the tight ends too. I mean, Cole is a great pass blocker, or run blocker, sorry. And same thing too, Gabe Fisher and Manny Adebi, both just crazy freak guys who are beasts in the weight room, who are just, gritty lunch pail guys who are just going to run it in your face as much as they can. And I have nothing respect for all those guys. I mean, just seeing them practice day in and day out last year was pretty incredible to see. And then obviously do it again on game day. I just think everything regarding all that is just giving Pavia all the confidence he needs to go out and just play football.
Yeah. I want to hear a little bit about Vanderbilt's defense. Obviously the defensive line has been really good. You talked about that guy, Miles Capers. He has 4.5 sacks this year. But I was looking, this is a spoiler alert for my Thursday show, which I haven't recorded yet, actually. But Vanderbilt's pass defense is 12th in the SEC. Is that something that you consider to be a weakness of the defense, the pass defense, or are those numbers kind of inflated for whatever reason?
I don't think it's an issue at all. I mean, they got great guys back there. They got CJ Hurd from FAU. He's been a hell of a player. He's got leading tackles at 35. And then same thing too. We got your boy Rando from TCU a few years ago. He's been an incredible player on this team. Colby Taylor's really stepped it up again. Jordan Matthews, Tennessee transfer. I mean, we got good players at the defensive back position, and whenever you see a team let up a big touchdown, you're always like, oh, the DB got smoked or whatever. The DB didn't do this, that. I mean, besides quarterback, it is the hardest position to play in football. I mean, the amount of things you have going against you of, how much you can grab onto the receiver and, how much you can play on the ball. And, you're playing against, these SEC receivers. I mean, these are first-round draft picks. I mean, playing against Luther Burden for 4 years was never fun to watch because, he's just an incredible player and he can do all these kinds of things in space. But I mean, I don't see it as an issue at all. I mean, especially the way that these D-line, and then we have an incredible linebackers room too. The way that we time up these blitzes and, pressure the quarterback. I mean, I believe it certainly got to Nussmeier last week. And even with the legs of Pravila, I really don't think he'll be able to escape the pocket, if we play to the identity that we've played with in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Missouri's offensive line really struggled last week at Auburn. So I think that is a place where if Missouri can't improve, it's going to be a really long day for both Pravila and Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Roberts and all those running backs. But if there was a weakness on this Vanderbilt team, where is it?
Well, obviously, besides the fact that it doesn't exist, I would just say the explosive plays. I saw it as an issue against LSU. There were times where, they get a big break out at running back, and, that's never really good to see, especially when your DNs are pretty good at, containing their areas and, not letting the ball bounce outside of them. So as long as, we just get rid of those just unfortunate quarterback dumps the ball. I believe Nussmeier dumped the ball off to his running back, and then it bounced off somebody, and then the running back got tackled and got hit into somebody who fell over, and then just kind of broke the explosive. So as long as we kind of limit these explosive plays, because explosive plays are the ones that, get teams motivated. That's what really channels the team into. But then, when you turn around and have a 14-play drive on offense that goes for 75 yards and a touchdown and eats up 9.5 minutes of a quarter, I mean, that also destroys the defense. So I believe as long as, we kind of limit the explosives, and, occasionally they're going to have a fade ball that, goes for 40 or 50 yards. But as long as we can limit that as best as possible, I think that Vandy should be very solid on defense.
Yeah. Aside from the fact that a weakness doesn't exist was a good line there. It's pretty confident.
I'm very confident in this team. I mean, we've only gotten better from last year, and as long as Pavia keeps playing to the way he has been, and our team as a our team culture keeps following this aggressive, gritty type of games, I think Vandy will be a 11-1 playoff team.
Ooh, okay. Who else do you guys have after Missouri? What are your tough games?
Tough games. I mean, Tennessee is always a tough game to end the season.
Yeah.
That'll be at Tennessee. I don't believe they've looked as good this year, but Joey Aguilar is still a good player, and they still got the weapons that they've always had. So that'll always be a tough game. We play Kentucky, who hasn't been great this year. We play Auburn at home, who hasn't been great this year. We play Texas on a road in 2 weeks, or next weekend actually. That'll be a tough go.
Yeah,
I believe coming out of talking to the guys that I'm still very close with on the team, they said, this big LSU, Missouri, Texas stretch, we all kind of agreed that that's kind of going to be the gauntlet of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the way we played against LSU, if we just play Vanderbilt football, we're going to win. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we both went to those schools for 4 years, and you never got me. You guys were close. You guys were real close a couple times, and it took some heroics from Tyler Beatty, or there was that game last year that was a double overtime game that I don't know how Missouri won. It didn't make any sense, but I have a feeling that, and I'm not looking forward to the day where Vanderbilt beats Missouri, because it's fun to have that on you, but I think it's coming. I'm worried. I think Vanderbilt, at least in the last couple of weeks, has looked like a better team than Missouri. Just they're playing better. But I do think this will be a good one. I think it'll be a competitive game. Do you have a prediction?
We always talked under Clarkley. I mean, he's as I mentioned earlier, super smart guy, very well spoken, but also he is one of the key people who is huge on the analytics. The people who are like, oh, if it's 4th and 3 and it's the third quarter and you're up by this much or down by this much and you're maybe on field goal range, like, do you go for it? He's one of those people who he really studies how that affects the game and affects the team. I think it's going to be whoever scores 27 points first wins.
Okay.
Going with that, I'm going to go final score Vanderbilt 30, Missouri 24.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Vanderbilt doing their notorious get the ball back with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Missouri doesn't get a chance to score again.
Yeah, they just eat the clock. Yep. That's an area kind of where Missouri's defense is at times had a difficult time getting out the field. So, yeah, I'm excited. I saw a clip of, speaking of your offensive line, I saw this crazy clip of this guy, I think it was your left guard or something.
Yeah, Hayden McConnell.
Yeah. Did you see this?
Yeah, the one where he kills Whitweek's little brother and then the other guy.
Yeah, he took out 2 guys in like 1 second and then just stood there because he had nothing else to do. So that kind of physicality is going to kill Missouri if they play like they played up front against Auburn, because Auburn was pretty dominant up there against our offensive line. So I think it's going to come down right up there in the trenches. I think, if Vanderbilt can establish some dominance and allow Pavia to be Pavia, I think it's going to be really tough for Missouri to stop, especially because mobile quarterbacks are just tougher to defend. They're just harder to defend. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I think 30-24 is pretty good pick. It's in Nashville, so that's another thing. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Are you still in touch with some of those guys on the team?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
How are they feeling?
I'll text them after this. I think I'm so confident they're probably 100% agreeing with me, and they think that as long as they play to the identity that we were curated to play throughout the off season, and all the summer workouts we always had to do, and just the way that our offense works, I think that we should win. And obviously, playing against Missouri, we always talked about how good y'all's D-line was.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing against y'all in 22, the infamous 4th and 1 stop.
Yep.
That really, I always joke with you, that really skyrocketed your program. But I mean, your D-line has always been incredible. That Georgia transfer.
Yeah.
When we watched the Mizzou-Alabama game, he looked like he was torching up.
He killed him.
Arguably one of the best O-lines in the country.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Doors come out on top this week.
So you're playing at 7, so you'll be able to watch, right?
Yeah, I'll be able to watch most of the game, I believe.
Okay. So you guys are Incarnate Word's in San Antonio, but you guys play away, right? Where are you going this weekend?
We're playing a brand new school called UT Rio Grande Valley.
Okay. And where is that? Do you know?
It's in Edinburgh, which is like right by like McAllen, Brownsville, like down by the border.
Oh wow! So you're going south.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I don't think I've been down there since I was like 9 or 10 down in Padre, but very foreign part of Texas that I've never been to. But
that'll be interesting. How are you guys feeling about that game? Is that a game you can win, or what's the deal?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely. I believe if anybody put a Doors and Incarnate Word parlay out there, they'll be making a lot of money.
All right. Well, I can't be responsible and I can't do that, but maybe you can convince someone else to do it. I'll put if I can find it, I'll put a unit on Incarnate Word. Who knows? Why not?
Thank you.
Yeah. I will be. It sucks actually. I'll be in San Antonio this weekend, or at least on Saturday, to see Paul McCartney. And I guess you won't be there, but maybe I'll see you Sunday or something.
Yeah, I'll see you Sunday. Alma Dome's cool. We played there, I guess, a little about a month and a half ago. It's a cool place.
Yeah, it is. All right, cool. I'm excited for Sir Paul.
I know. I'm sad I can't go myself. I wish we were playing at 11 a.m. here so I can go to the concert with y'all. But
yeah,
this is probably his last go around.
You'd think so. Yeah, I mean, he's still kicking it, but I imagine this is probably his last little hurrah here. Yeah. Well, Will, thanks for coming on. This was fun. You've provided a lot of good insight to the Vanderbilt program.
Thanks for having me, Dave. Best of luck this weekend.
Yeah, man. Hey, may the best team win. You know what? I think both these teams are very good, and as long as it's a good, Vanderbilt wins, I just want it to be a good game. And if that happens, then good for you. I mean, it's going to happen soon because Vanderbilt is not the same old Vanderbilt. So they're going to
even in the past. I mean, both games we played.
Yeah,
when we've been at Missouri, have
very
been
close,
very, very close games.
Yeah, and then
we don't need to talk about Brady Cook playing at Vanderbilt, but I'm looking forward to a real gritty matchup.
Yeah, it'll be good. All right, Will, thanks for joining me. Good luck this weekend in Edinburgh, Texas. Is that right? Edinburgh?
Yeah, I think that's how it's pronounced. But
all right. Well, good luck. Good luck to the Incarnate Word Cardinals. Is that also right? Still learning the Southland Conference. I need to learn more about it. But all right, man. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Thanks for everybody for listening. Hope you enjoyed the insight. Will, the former Vanderbilt kicker of 4 years, he gave you some good insight. Hope you enjoyed it. That's all I have. I'll be back on Monday to talk about whatever happens in this game. So join me then. Appreciate you watching. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend, everybody. I will see you guys later. Thanks, Will.
See you, Dave.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.